Right now, at this very moment, there is a battle happening inside your mind. You may not see it, you may not hear it, but it is real and it is deciding your whole future. Ask yourself this question: what if the life you are living today is not because of bad luck or bad timing or the people around you, but because of the thoughts you allow to live in your mind every single day? What if I told you that the poor man and the rich man, the weak man and the strong man, the failure and the success, they all started with the same raw material, the same brain, the same 24 hours, the same power to think. The only difference between them is how they use that power. I am here today to speak to you about something that changed my entire life, and it can change yours too. It is the power of controlled thought. Not wild thinking, not lazy thinking, controlled thinking. Thinking with a purpose, like a skilled hand guiding a sharp tool. Stay with me until the end, because what I am about to share with you is not just information. It is a key. And if you use this key the right way, it can open a door you have been standing in front of for years, afraid to knock. Let us begin. For many years, I studied the lives of men and women who rose from nothing and became something great. I studied poor boys who became powerful leaders. I studied broken men who became builders of great companies. I studied people who had every reason to quit, but instead, they became legends that we still talk about today. And after studying hundreds of these lives, I found one truth that repeated itself again and again, like a heartbeat that never stopped. Every single one of them, without exception, learned to control their thoughts before they controlled their circumstances. Think about that for a moment. Before they had money, they had a rich mindset. Before they had success, they had a picture of success burning inside their mind. Before the world believed in them, they believed in themselves, quietly, stubbornly, every single day. This is the secret that most people never discover. They wait for their life to change so that their thoughts can change. But the truth works the other way around. Your thoughts must change first. Then your life will follow. Let me tell you something simple, but very powerful. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever seed you plant in it, that is what will grow. If you plant seeds of fear, doubt, and worry, do not be surprised when your life gives you a harvest of fear, doubt, and worry. But if you plant seeds of courage, hope, and determination, your life will slowly, surely, give you a harvest of courage, hope, and determination. The sad truth is, many people never choose their seeds on purpose. They let the wind blow whatever seeds it wants into their garden. They let other people's negative words plant themselves in their mind. They let bad news, bad habits, and bad company plant weeds all over their thinking. Then, years later, they look at their life and say, "Why is nothing growing right for me?" My friend, nothing is wrong with the soil. Something is wrong with the seeds you have been allowing in. Today, right now, you have the power to change that. You have the power to become the gatekeeper of your own mind. No one can force a thought into your head and keep it there without your permission. You may not control every thought that knocks on the door, but you always control which thought you invite inside to stay. This is the first lesson I want to plant deep in your heart today. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the master of your thoughts, if you choose to take up that position. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young man who grew up very poor. His family had very little food, very little money, and very little hope. Everyone around him told him the same thing, again and again, like a broken record. People like us do not become successful. People like us just survive. He heard this so many times that it almost became true in his heart. Almost. But one day, this young man read something that struck him like lightning. He read that the mind cannot tell the difference between a real experience and an experience that is imagined with strong feeling and repeated often enough. In simple words, if you picture something in your mind again and again with strong feeling, as if it is already true, your mind begins to accept it as true. And once your mind accepts it as true, it starts directing your actions, your words, and your choices toward making it real. This young man decided to test this idea. Every single morning, before he even got out of bed, he closed his eyes and pictured himself as a successful, respected man. He pictured himself speaking with confidence. He pictured himself helping others. He pictured himself living in a comfortable home, free from the fear of poverty. At first, nothing changed on the outside. His bank account was still empty. His shoes still had holes in them. But something was changing on the inside, and that is where every change must begin. Slowly, his walk became more confident. Slowly, his words became more powerful. Slowly, he started noticing opportunities that he used to walk right past. He started talking to people he used to be too afraid to approach. He started asking for things he used to be too shy to ask for. Years later, that same young man became a man of great achievement, respected by many, remembered by many. And when people asked him what changed his life, he did not talk about luck. He did not talk about a rich uncle or a lottery ticket. He talked about the picture he built in his mind and how he refused to let it go, no matter how long it took to become real. This is not magic. This is not some strange trick. This is simply how the mind works. What you think about with strong feeling over and over again tends to become the direction of your life. Now, I want to be very honest with you. This does not mean you can just sit on a couch, close your eyes, and wish for a mansion to appear. That is not what I am teaching you. Thoughts alone do not build houses. Thoughts alone do not pay bills. But thoughts are the blueprint. Thoughts are the plan. And no builder in the world can build a strong house without a strong plan first. Your thoughts create the plan. Your actions build the house. But without the plan, the actions have nowhere to go. They become confused, wasted, scattered in every direction, like a man running fast but running in circles. So the first step to transforming your life is this. Decide right now what you actually want your life to look like. Not what your parents wanted, not what your neighbors expect, not what society says is normal. What do you, deep in your heart, truly want your life to become? Many people go their whole lives without ever answering this question honestly. They float through their days like a leaf on a river, going wherever the current pushes them. Then they wonder at the end of it all why they feel empty, why they feel like they never really lived. Do not let that be your story. Take a moment, even after this video ends, and ask yourself clearly, what do I want? What kind of person do I want to become? What kind of life do I want to build for myself and for the people I love? Once you know the answer, even if it is not perfect yet, even if it is a little shaky and unclear, hold on to it. Picture it. Feel it. Let it live inside your mind every single day, like a flame that you protect from the wind. This is what I call a burning desire. Not a wish, not a hope. A burning desire that refuses to die, even when life gets hard. And life will get hard. I will not lie to you about that. There will be days when your plans fall apart. There will be days when people laugh at your dreams. There will be days when you fail and fail again, and wonder if you are wasting your time. This is exactly where most people give up. This is exactly where most dreams die. Not because the dream was wrong, but because the dreamer allowed doubt to take over the mind. But here is something beautiful I have learned. Every failure carries inside it a seed of an equal or greater benefit, if you are wise enough to look for it. Let that sink in for a moment. Every single time you fail, hidden inside that failure is a lesson, a warning, or an opportunity that can push you even higher if you refuse to quit. But if you quit at the moment of failure, you never get to discover that hidden gift. You walk away with nothing but pain when you could have walked away with wisdom. Think of a small child learning to walk. That child falls down again and again, sometimes 10 times, sometimes 20 times, sometimes 100 times in one single day. Does the child ever look up and say, I am not meant to walk, I will just crawl for the rest of my life? No, the child does not even think in those terms. The child simply gets back up again and again, without even questioning it, until one day, walking becomes natural. Somewhere along the way, as we grow older, we lose that beautiful, stubborn spirit. We start attaching meaning to our falls. We start telling ourselves stories. I failed once, so I must not be good enough. I tried and it did not work, so maybe this is just not for me. These stories feel true in the moment, but they are not facts. They are simply thoughts, and thoughts, as we already learned, can be changed. I want you to remember this phrase and repeat it to yourself whenever life knocks you down. This is not the end of my story. This is only one chapter, and I am the one writing the next page. Persistence is the quality that separates those who eventually succeed from those who quit just one step before their breakthrough. I have seen this happen so many times, it almost breaks my heart. A person works hard for months, sometimes years, chasing a dream. Then, right when they are close, so close, closer than they even realize, they give up. They walk away, tired and discouraged, never knowing that if they had taken just a few more steps, everything could have changed. This is why persistence is not just a nice idea. It is a survival skill for your dreams. But persistence does not come from willpower alone. Willpower gets tired. Willpower has bad days. What truly fuels persistence is a strong, clear picture in your mind of why you are doing what you are doing. This is why I keep coming back to the importance of controlling your thoughts. When your mind is filled with a clear picture of your goal, and a clear reason why that goal matters to you, your persistence becomes almost automatic. You do not have to force yourself as much, because your mind is pulling you forward, like a magnet pulling metal. Now let me speak to you about something that many people misunderstand. Positive thinking. Some people believe positive thinking means pretending everything is fine when it is not. Smiling through pain and never facing your problems. That is not what I am teaching you. That is not real positive thinking. That is simply avoiding reality, and avoiding reality never solves anything. Real positive thinking means facing your problems honestly, but refusing to let those problems convince you that you are powerless. It means saying, yes, this situation is hard. Yes, this is a real problem. But I still have the power to think, to plan, and to act. I am not finished yet. This kind of thinking does not deny the storm. It simply refuses to let the storm control the sailor. Let me tell you about another kind of person. The kind of person whose mind is filled with negative thinking without even realizing it. This person wakes up and immediately starts complaining about the day before it has even begun. This person meets a new opportunity and immediately lists 10 reasons why it will not work. This person hears about someone else's success and instead of feeling inspired, feels bitter and jealous. This kind of thinking becomes a heavy chain, dragging behind every step this person takes. And the sad part is, this person often does not even notice the chain because they have been dragging it for so long. It feels normal. If any of this sounds familiar to you, I am not here to make you feel ashamed. I am here to gently show you a mirror so you can see clearly and choose differently starting today. You have the power to notice a negative thought the moment it enters your mind, and instead of letting it walk in and sit down like it owns the place, you can stop it at the door and ask, is this thought helping me or hurting me? If it is hurting you, you have full permission to reject it. You do not have to obey every thought that enters your mind. You are not a slave to your thoughts. You are the one in charge. This simple habit, practiced daily, can slowly rebuild the entire atmosphere of your mind, the same way a gardener slowly clears weeds and plants flowers instead, one small action at a time. Now, I want to talk to you about faith. Not religious faith, though that is a beautiful and personal thing for many people. I am talking about faith in yourself. Faith in your ability to figure things out. Faith that even when you do not yet see the full path, taking the next right step will reveal more of the road ahead. Many people wait for proof before they believe in themselves. They say, once I succeed a little, then I will believe I can succeed more. But this is backwards thinking. Faith must come before the proof, not after. Think of it like turning on a light in a dark room. You do not wait for the room to already be lit before you decide to flip the switch. You flip the switch first, trusting that light will follow. Faith works the same way. You choose to believe first, and often, belief is exactly what creates the courage needed to take the action that brings the proof. I know that some of you listening to me today have been hurt. Life has been unfair to you in ways that are hard to explain in words. Maybe people you trusted let you down. Maybe you tried before and it did not work out. Maybe you have been carrying disappointment for so long that hope feels like a dangerous thing to feel again. I understand that pain is real. I am not asking you to pretend it did not happen, but I am asking you this. Will you let your past decide your future? Or will you take back the pen and start writing a new chapter, starting from wherever you are right now? Your past does not have the final word on your life. Your thoughts today and the actions that follow them have far more power over your future than anything that has already happened to you. Let me share another important idea with you. Self-discipline. Many people love the idea of dreaming big. It feels exciting, it feels good, it feels hopeful. But dreams without discipline stay dreams forever. They never become reality. Self-discipline simply means doing what you decided to do, even after the excitement fades. It means showing up on the days you do not feel like showing up. It means choosing the long-term reward over the short-term comfort. Think about the difference between two people who both want to improve their life. One person only takes action when they feel motivated. The other person takes action whether they feel motivated or not, because they made a decision and they honor that decision like a promise. Which one of these two people do you think will actually reach their goal? Motivation is like a spark. It is exciting, but it does not last very long. Discipline is like a steady fire that keeps burning long after the spark has faded. If you want lasting change in your life, you cannot depend only on motivation. You must build discipline, one small choice at a time. The good news is, discipline is not something you either have or do not have. It is a muscle, and like every muscle, it grows stronger the more you use it. Start small. If you want to build the discipline of controlling your thoughts, start by simply noticing your thoughts for just 5 minutes a day. If you want to build the discipline of taking action toward your goals, start with one small step each day, even if it feels tiny compared to the size of your dream. Small, consistent actions repeated daily build a kind of strength that sudden bursts of effort can never build. The person who walks 1 mile every single day for a year will travel farther than the person who runs 10 miles once and then quits from exhaustion. Now, let us talk about the people around you, because this matters more than most people realize. The thoughts of the people closest to you have a powerful influence on the thoughts inside your own mind. This is simply how human beings work. We are deeply affected by the energy, the words, and the beliefs of the people we spend the most time with. If you spend your days surrounded by people who constantly complain, constantly doubt, and constantly discourage every dream you share with them, it becomes very difficult to keep your own thoughts positive and strong. It is like trying to keep a small flame burning in the middle of a storm. This does not mean you must abandon people who are struggling or going through a hard time. Compassion matters deeply, but it does mean you must be wise about who you allow to speak into your dreams, your goals, and your deepest hopes. Protect your mind the way you would protect something precious, because it is precious. It is the control center of your entire life. Surround yourself, as much as you can, with people who lift your spirit, who challenge you to grow, and who believe that better things are possible, both for themselves and for you. Even if you cannot change everyone around you, you can be careful about whose words you allow to plant seeds in your mind. Let me now speak about something very simple, but often forgotten: gratitude. It may sound strange to talk about gratitude in a video about controlling your thoughts and transforming your life, but gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for training your mind to notice good things instead of only noticing problems. When you make a habit of noticing what is already good in your life, even in small ways, Your mind slowly starts looking for more good things to notice. It is like training your eyes to see a certain color. Once you start looking for it, you begin to notice it everywhere. The opposite is also true. If your mind is trained to constantly notice what is wrong, what is missing, and what is unfair, it will keep finding more and more evidence to support that belief, even when good things are happening right in front of you. Try this simple practice. Each night, before you sleep, think of 3 things from that day that you are grateful for. They do not have to be big things. A kind word from a stranger, a warm meal, a moment of peace. Over time, this small habit can quietly reshape the way your mind sees the world. Now, I want to bring all of these ideas together because they are not separate pieces. They work together, like different parts of one powerful machine. It begins with controlling your thoughts, refusing to let fear, doubt, and negativity run wild inside your mind without permission. It continues with deciding clearly what you truly want your life to become, and picturing that goal with strong feeling, again and again, until it becomes a part of you. It grows through persistence, refusing to quit simply because the road became difficult, understanding that every failure carries a hidden lesson for those wise enough to look for it. It is strengthened through faith, choosing to believe in your own ability before you have all the proof, and trusting that the next step will become clear once you take the step in front of you. It is protected through self-discipline, doing what you decided to do, even on the days when you do not feel like doing it, because a promise to yourself deserves to be honored. And it is nourished through gratitude, training your mind to notice the good that already exists, even while you work toward the good that is still coming. None of these ideas are complicated. None of them require special talent, special luck, or special connections. They are available to every single person listening to my voice right now, no matter where you come from, no matter what your bank account says today, no matter how many times you have failed before. The real question is not whether you have the ability to transform your life. You do. Every person does. The real question is whether you will decide, starting today, to take control of your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts control you. I want you to imagine something with me for a moment. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. Imagine that starting right now from this very video, you decided to guard your mind carefully. You decided to reject fearful, doubtful thoughts the moment they knocked on your door. You decided to plant a clear picture of your goal in your mind and water it daily with belief and effort. Imagine yourself continuing forward, even through failures, understanding that each one was teaching you something valuable. Imagine yourself building small disciplines, day after day, until they became powerful habits. Imagine yourself surrounded more and more by people who lift you higher instead of pulling you down. Where do you think that version of you would be standing 1 year from today? I believe with all my heart that this version of you is not a fantasy. It is available to you. It is waiting for you, on the other side of a decision you have the power to make right now. But here is the truth I must leave you with. No one else can make that decision for you. Not your family, not your friends, not me. Only you can decide in this very moment that you are done letting fear and doubt run your mind, and that from today forward, you will take the wheel. Change does not usually happen in one giant, dramatic moment. It happens quietly in the small decisions you make when no one is watching. It happens in the thought you choose to think, instead of the negative one that tried to sneak in. It happens in the action you take, even when you are tired. It happens in the moment you get back up, one more time after falling down. You are far more powerful than you have been giving yourself credit for. The same mind that has been used to create doubt and fear inside you can be trained, starting today, to create courage, purpose, and unstoppable determination instead. Your life is not being written by luck. It is not being written by other people's opinions of you. It is being written, thought by thought, choice by choice, day by day by you. So I ask you, as we come to the end of our time together today, What will you choose to think starting right now? What picture will you hold in your mind? What small action will you take today, no matter how small, to move one step closer to the life you truly want? The door is open. It has always been open. The only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is the decision to finally walk through it, with your thoughts under your control and your heart full of purpose. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Begin today right where you are with what you already have. If this message inspired you today, subscribe to Zudda Principles and turn on notifications so you never miss our next motivational video. Share this video with someone who needs encouragement today. Remember, your future begins with the choices you make today. Until next time, keep believing in yourself and keep moving forward. Let me continue, because there is more I want to share with you, more that your heart needs to hear before we part ways today. I want to take you back in time to a story that has stayed with me for many years, a story that shows exactly what happens when a person finally decides to take control of their own mind. There was a man who worked in a small factory, doing the same tiring job day after day, year after year. He was not treated well. His pay was small. His dreams, the ones he had as a young boy, felt like they belonged to someone else's life, not his. Every night, he would come home exhausted, and every night, his mind would repeat the same tired thoughts. This is just my life. This is all there is for someone like me. I should just be grateful I have a job at all. These thoughts felt comfortable in a strange way. They asked nothing of him. They required no risk, no effort, no fear of failure. But comfortable thoughts are often the most dangerous thoughts of all, because they quietly convince us to stay exactly where we are, even when we are unhappy. One day, almost by accident, this man came across an old, worn-out book in a small second-hand shop. He did not even plan to buy it. But something about it caught his attention, and he found himself reading late into the night, something he had not done in years. That book spoke about the power of the mind. It spoke about how our outer world is often just a reflection of our inner thinking. At first, he doubted it. He almost laughed at the idea. How could simply changing his thoughts change his difficult, painful reality? But something inside him, some small spark that had not completely died, made him willing to try. He decided quietly, without telling anyone, that he would test this idea for just 30 days. Just 30 days of trying to control his thoughts on purpose, instead of letting them run wild. Every morning, before leaving for work, he stood in front of the mirror and spoke a few simple words to himself. Not loud, not dramatic, just honest words about the man he wanted to become. Every night, instead of complaining about his day in his mind, he forced himself to think of one thing that had gone right, even if it was small. At first, nothing seemed different. The factory was still the same. The pay was still small. His boss still treated him the same way. But something inside him had quietly shifted. He began noticing small opportunities he had never noticed before. A conversation with a coworker who mentioned a job opening, a skill he had that he never thought was valuable until someone else pointed it out to him. Slowly, very slowly, doors began to open. Not because the universe suddenly handed him gifts, but because his mind, now trained to look for possibility instead of defeat, began guiding him toward actions he would have never taken before. Within a few years, that same tired factory worker had built a small business of his own. It did not happen overnight. It was not easy. There were setbacks, there were moments of fear, there were nights he wanted to give up, but he kept returning to that same simple practice. Guard the mind. Choose the thought. Take the next step. When people later asked him what changed everything for him, he did not talk about some lucky break. He talked about the day he decided that his thoughts belonged to him, and no one, not his boss, not his circumstances, not his past, had the right to control them except himself. I share this story with you not because it is unusual, but because it is not unusual at all. This same pattern repeats itself again and again, in different forms, in different lives, all around the world. ordinary people in ordinary situations, who simply decided one day to take control of their own minds and slowly, steadily built extraordinary lives. You have that same power inside you right now. It has never left you. It has simply been waiting for you to notice it and use it. Now, I want to talk with you about something that quietly destroys more dreams than almost anything else. It is comparison. We live in a time where it is easier than ever to see the lives of other people, their success, their achievements, their happy moments. And it becomes very easy, almost automatic, to compare your own life, your own progress, your own struggles, to what you see in other people. This kind of thinking can be poison to your mind if you are not careful. Because when you compare your beginning to someone else's middle, or your struggle to someone else's highlight, you are not seeing the full picture. You are only seeing a small piece, and you are using that small piece to judge your entire journey unfairly. Every single person you admire, every person who seems to have life figured out, has faced their own private battles, their own failures, their own moments of doubt that you simply do not see. The version of them you are comparing yourself to is usually the finished product, not the messy, uncertain process that got them there. Your journey is your own. It does not need to look like anyone else's journey to be valuable. It does not need to move at anyone else's speed to be meaningful. The only fair comparison you should ever make is between who you were yesterday and who you are becoming today. Are you thinking a little more clearly than you did last month? Are you a little more disciplined than you were last year? Are you a little closer to your goal than you were when you first began? If the answer is yes, even a small yes, then you are moving in the right direction, no matter how far you still have to go. Let this idea free you from a burden that so many people carry without even realizing it. You do not have to win a race against anyone else. You simply have to keep moving forward, one honest step at a time, guided by thoughts that you have chosen on purpose. I also want to speak to you honestly about fear, because fear is something every single human being experiences, no matter how strong, no matter how successful, no matter how confident they may appear on the outside. Fear itself is not your enemy. Fear is simply a signal, a kind of alarm that goes off in your mind when you are about to do something unfamiliar, something risky, something that matters deeply to you. In that way, fear can almost be seen as a strange kind of compass, quietly pointing you toward the exact things that could help you grow the most, if you are willing to walk through it instead of running away from it. The real danger is not feeling fear. The real danger is letting fear make your decisions for you. Picture two people, standing at the exact same crossroad, facing the exact same frightening opportunity. Both of them feel the same nervous energy in their chest. Both of them hear the same doubtful voice whispering in their mind, warning them of everything that could go wrong. One of them listens to that fear and turns back, choosing the safety of staying exactly where they are. The other one feels the same fear, acknowledges it honestly, and then takes the step forward anyway, trembling, uncertain, but moving. Years later, their lives look completely different, not because one of them was braver by nature, but because one of them refused to let fear have the final word over their choices. You will feel fear too. Many